At its height, Lakewood Church drew tens of thousands every weekend, generating nearly $90 million annually. The church transformed a former NBA arena into a spectacular sanctuary, blending faith with theater, media, and mass appeal. Joel Osteen's vision was clear: faith as experience, church as event, and every service a broadcast ready spectacle. Yet the very factors that built Lakewood's empire, the massive building, the media machinery, and the promise of abundance, also left it vulnerable. Over time, scandals, public backlash, and societal shifts exposed cracks in the foundation, turning an unstoppable religious brand into a church grappling with crisis. The arena as a monument. In 2003, Lakewood signed a lease for Houston's former NBA arena, a 16,800-seat space that had hosted basketball and sold-out concerts. Over the next 2 years, nearly $100 million transformed the venue. Crews added 5 stories for offices, children's ministries, and broadcasting, while the sanctuary became a high-tech spectacle. Massive video screens, state-of-the-art lighting, and advanced audio systems turned worship into theater. Every seat, every watt, every visual cue was engineered for a packed house. The building was more than a church, it was a monument to Osteen's vision, where faith, media, and performance merged into a single, awe-inspiring experience. Faith as Spectacle Lakewood's sanctuary was designed not just for worship, but for mass production. Multiple camera crews, real-time editing, and rehearsed cues ensured seamless broadcasts reaching millions worldwide. The congregation wasn't merely attending a service, they were part of a show. The church's identity thrived on the energy of a full arena, where each cheer and clap reinforced the message. Technology and scale amplified the effect, making the sanctuary itself an integral part of the ministry. For Osteen, the church's experience was inseparable from its audience, ensuring that both the in-person congregation and television viewers received the same polished, uplifting spectacle. A financial powerhouse, Lakewood's operation was as meticulously engineered as its sanctuary. With annual revenue around $90 million, the majority came from tithes, offerings, and branded resources. Over 70% of the budget funded broadcasts, services, and nationwide tours, sustaining a staff of more than 350 employees. Television programming reached over 100 countries, while books like Your Best Life Now sold millions. Osteen reportedly took no salary from the church since 2005, relying on royalties and speaking fees. The church's financial model mirrored its spectacle, designed for scale, efficiency, and growth, turning a congregation into a global audience and Lakewood into a brand that extended far beyond Houston. The prosperity gospel central to Lakewood's appeal was the promise of abundance. Sermons emphasized favor, blessings, and success, often avoiding sin, suffering, or controversy. The formula was simple, repeatable, and highly marketable. Think positively, speak faithfully, and God will provide. This approach attracted millions, appealing to people seeking hope, motivation, and affirmation. Critics, however, argued that it diluted core Christian teachings. By prioritizing happiness and personal gain, the church's message risked becoming a form of entertainment rather than spiritual guidance. For years, this strategy worked, fueling attendance, media reach, and book sales, cementing Lakewood's position as a modern religious empire. Hurricane Harvey and public outrage. In August 2017, Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, displacing thousands. While local churches and schools opened doors for shelter, Lakewood initially remained closed. The church claimed flooding prevented access, but social media revealed empty streets and locked doors. Viral images of the dry parking lot intensified criticism, framing the church as out of touch with the city's suffering. Under pressure, Lakewood opened as a shelter 2 days later, partnering with the Red Cross. The incident damaged its reputation, highlighting a gap between the church's message of abundance and its response during crisis, raising questions about priorities and accountability. Criticism from within. Lakewood's approach drew sharp criticism from respected Christian leaders. Theologians like Michael Horton called Osteen's message a false gospel, replacing the core of Christianity with promises of personal success. John MacArthur described the sermons as trivializing faith, emphasizing positivity over doctrine. Osteen's public interviews often avoided specifics, favoring broad statements and encouragement over theological clarity. For critics, this strategic vagueness kept the church appealing to a wide audience but eroded doctrinal substance. Internal and external scrutiny combined to question whether Lakewood's brand of faith truly served spiritual needs or merely marketed a comfortable, aspirational version of Christianity. The pandemic and the shift online March 2020 brought a new challenge. The pandemic forced Lakewood to close its doors. Services moved online, maintaining polished production but revealing weaknesses in the content. Without a live audience, sermons felt repetitive and thin. The spectacle could no longer mask the lack of depth. Viewers noticed the uniformity of weekly messages promising breakthrough and affirmation without substantive engagement. Attendance had already begun to decline, but the move online made the cracks more visible. The very scale and production that once made Lakewood remarkable now exposed its reliance on live energy and spectacle, demonstrating that technology alone could not sustain the church's appeal. Declining attendance and financial stress. Lakewood's peak attendance of 52,000 has fallen to around 25,000, leaving entire sections of the sanctuary empty. Financial strain followed. Leaked documents suggest revenue dropped by nearly a third since 2019, reducing reserves and forcing the church to secure a $4.4 million Paycheck Protection Program loan during the pandemic. Public backlash forced repayment, casting doubt on financial health. Hidden scandals, including $600,000 discovered behind bathroom tiles in 2021, compounded staff anxiety. The gap between the church's polished exterior and internal struggles became undeniable, revealing how the operational demands of a megachurch left it vulnerable to both financial and reputational shocks. Security challenges. Lakewood has faced threats beyond finances. In February 2024, a woman carrying an AR-15 opened fire during a service, wounding a child before being stopped by security. Despite armed guards, the church's size, constant traffic, and welcoming nature make complete safety impossible. Megachurches inherently balance openness with risk. Fixed costs demand attendance, but attendance demands accessibility. This event highlighted vulnerabilities inherent in Lakewood's model. The very factors designed to attract and inspire a massive congregation also create exposure to danger, illustrating the hidden operational and physical challenges of running a religious enterprise at scale. Cultural shifts and market forces. Lakewood's challenges are not unique. Across the US, weekly religious attendance has declined to historic lows, with only 28% participating regularly. The rise of digital media and endless online content has made large-scale church experiences less unique. What once felt innovative now appears overexposed, while empty seats underscore shifting cultural priorities. Spectacle alone cannot sustain engagement. Lakewood's reliance on scale, production, and media has collided with broader societal trends, revealing that faith as a brand is fragile when cultural and technological landscapes evolve. Conclusion: lessons from an empire in crisis. Lakewood Church's rise and decline reflect both vision and vulnerability. Joel Osteen built a religious empire on spectacle, media, and positivity, creating a global brand and cultural phenomenon. Yet public controversies, financial strains, declining attendance, and societal shifts revealed the fragility beneath the shine. The church's story is a cautionary tale. When faith becomes a brand, its sustainability depends not just on image, production, or charisma, but on authentic engagement, integrity, and responsiveness. Empty seats and viral scandals are reminders that even the grandest religious enterprises face limits when the market, culture, and public scrutiny shift.